at Purdue in 1972 and his PhD in psychology in 1973. 3 years and 2 degrees, correct? He has had a stellar academic career as a professor at the Indian Institute of Technology, Indian Institute of Management, National University of Singapore, and Ahmedabad University, where he is currently a distinguished university professor. Ramadhar has a distinguished academic record, over 100 publications, over a dozen research grants that have funded his work for nearly 40 years. His research has touched on a broad range of topics, including how people and groups make decisions and form impressions of each other, how and why people become attracted to others, and how people develop the skills that they need to become effective leaders. Ramadhar has held a number of leadership positions himself throughout his career, including serving as the deputy head of his department at the National University of Singapore. He's received several honors and awards for his scholarship and leadership, including being the first person to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award for Excellence in Research from the Indian Institute of Management in 2021. As I got to know Ramadhar over email correspondence over the past summer, there were 3 things that stood out to me. First was his effusive praise for Purdue. For example, in one of the notes that he wrote me, he said, "I wish I were again in my 20s and at Purdue." I don't know, you watched the video? I'm kidding. Coming to Purdue and being mentored by the faculty there changed the course of my life. My son and daughter-in-law are Purdue alumni, and so will be twin granddaughters, I hope. Maybe I'm breaking news here that your grandfather has plans for you. The second is Ramadhar's remarkable personal story. I wish I could tell the whole thing. I'm trying to keep my comments as brief as I can, though. Ramadhar was born in a farming village in Nepal. His parents could barely read or write, and they valued education for their children, and so they sent him to school in India. Perhaps of many wonderful stories, my favorite story is that Ramadhar says that when he chose to study psychology as an undergraduate student, the elders in his home village approached his father to warn him that Ramadhar would end up unemployed. We don't use that as our advertising materials in psychological sciences. I also thought, I wish there was a time machine so that the elders from the village could see you now. The third thing that I wanted to say about Ramadhar that is maybe the most remarkable of all of his many achievements is the impact that he's had through his philanthropy. Because of his own educational experiences, Ramadhar made it a priority to develop and fund a range of educational initiatives. This has included establishing and funding 2 new educational institutes in India and working to create a primary and secondary school in his home village, which has expanded over the years and was renamed in honor of Ramadhar's parents. It would be hard to overstate how many lives you've touched through your contributions to advance education in your own village. So congratulations. Dr. Ramadhar Singh, 2022 Health and Human Sciences Distinguished Alumni Honoree.
Good evening. Congratulations to all those who preceded me, and they have narrated their stories of Purdue. I'm taking you back more than half a century. After trying for 4 years, I got Fulbright scholarship and came here in 1970, and orientation was in Arizona. And when the place where I was admitted, I didn't know. So I went to the library and checked the credentials and found that it is not a good school for me. So I wrote to Purdue Professor Danburn, whom I had known, "Sir, I came to this country for my training as a psychological scientist, but the place where Fulbright people have placed may not satisfy that." He said, "No, you come and meet me before going to that institution." And in the middle of the semester, he got me transferred from that institution to Purdue University. This is our history. Okay. When I came here, coming from India, first seeing the vastness of Purdue, airport, forest, I think in $1 we used to get 1 sack of apple here. In $5 I stayed in Purdue Memorial Union. And any time I would come to the department, within 24 hours you find 10 people working. Now that one, and we had 75 faculty members in psychology. For me, all these things were something which I could not have imagined. So day and night I worked, and what I learned, like my predecessors have described all the virtues, I learned how to be a good scientist. I learned how to be a responsible citizen. And I learned how to be loyal to the institution where you work and the country you live in. These are the things I learned. And doing research here or relating to people, they became like lifelong values. Work, research did not remain as my work, it became play for me. And you see the 3 generations here, my wife Prabha is here. If I am not working, she would say, you are not working these days. The grandchildren we have, you know the 3 generations, they always think you are not as good as they are. So they tested me, I think in 2011, and said to both husband and wife, at most you can be admitted to level 1 in America. So I got to it. So you can think the importance of this, what Purdue did and how it changed the course of my life. The values I learned, which I practiced, the professor who influenced me. So Dan Byrne became like a godfather to us. I have a friend here, Professor Jeff Fisher. He was a year junior to me here. And Purdue has to be grateful because I took him to the bursar office to pay. And we remained. That in 2008, I came and spent time in the laboratory of Professor Duane Wagner. So what Dan Byrne did in 70, Duane did in 2008. And because of his retraining, I'm still able to write and publish in American and European journals. Because at the age of 76, you can imagine, in India you retire at 60, 62, but still I'm doing because of Purdue. Professor Christopher Agnew, in 2008 I met, he has also become a lifelong friend. Wherever possible, he nominates me. So this is what Purdue is. And this is the way I have seen it. I would say, coming to Purdue, as Jeff Karpike also said, changed the course of my life. If I had not come, my son would not have come here. I could not have afforded to educate him. But whatever I got as a research assistantship, I paid as tuition of Manish. So this has been a journey, so I am very grateful to Dean Marion Underwood for choosing me from so many. You can imagine, from 73 to now, how many social psychologists in this country, they have covered all over the world, they selected me. So I'm really humbled and I'm grateful to Madam for doing, to Jeff, the way he described and he nominated me. I have Professor Christopher Agnew here. Duane came from Columbus, Ohio to attend this. Jeff came from Florida. My 3 generations are here. Can there be a day greater than this? I'm grateful to you all. I'm grateful to Purdue for creating this opportunity. Thank you very much.